and welcome to the MotoGP sprint here for Italy. And I'm a commentator, Megan Birch, and I will be noticeably on my own for this commentary due to unforeseen circumstances happening, meaning that Joshua Birch will be unable to join me for the sprint race, and I'm seeing a lot of smoke bombs go off in the crowds. I'm not sure if those are actually allowed. A lot of red going on, so I'm gonna just call it the Ducati team fans, which are currently just lighting up smoking up the grandstands with some red smoke bombs, and you will notice that we are on the warm-up lap, hence the unforeseen circumstances, and for some reason I am not fully sure why, but that is not doing what it's meant to do. I do not know why. I will briefly check that I am actually being able to heard. Yes, I can be heard. Right, so we're about to get the warm-up finished with and the sprint underway. Obviously, a sprint is the half of the race distance. That will be tomorrow. Coming up to the grid now. Starting row 1 is Marc Marquez, Bagnaia and Alex Marquez. Row 2 is Quartararo, Vinales and Morbidelli. Row 3 is D'Antonio, Acosta and Rins. Bezzecchi is in row 4 alongside Ralph Fernandez and Aldeguer. Row 5 is Jack Miller, Zarco and Binder. Bastianini is row 6 along with Oliveira, Mir. And in row 7 we have Nakagami, Salvadori and Ayagura. And then Chantra is in row 8. Is Chantra on his own? That is not surprising. Right, sprint's about to get underway. I've kind of forgotten what I usually say when we go underway. 5 lights, and we go. That's what I say. Right, so brilliant start there from Pecco Bagnaia. Got right ahead of everyone else. Marc Marquez falls back about 2 places, or immediately tries to get the cut back on. Contact there with the front wheels, and crash. We have 2 off. I told you sector 1 was a bad area, especially turn 1. So yellow flag, sector 1 on lap 1 of 11. Due to, who was it that crashed out? It was Zarco and the 33 of Brad Binder. Both riders are okay, though came together going round turn 1. They seem to have just caught the back wheel and the front wheel together and then kind of like took each other off. Here we're going round one of the next corners. I'm a bit warm, so do forgive me if I'm a little bit out of breath. Mia falls down the order slightly due to the pack racing going on in the middle. And Bagnaia, Alex Marquez and Marc Marquez, that is the current top 3 with Quartararo following on in 4. Why have I just seen something pop up for Vinales? That said crash, and I know that said crash, but he's not crashed, so that was a technical difficulty there, I think. And D'Antonio passes Bezzecchi for 8th position, as well as Mir passing Salvadori for 17th, and I'm having to continuously update this. Yellow flag is still out in sector 1, obviously recovering the bikes from the track, and just I say that the yellow flag goes in, still remaining on lap 1 of 11. That is... Oh, someone else is dropping down the order. Pedro Acosta is dropping down the order. He's crashed out, but whereabouts has he crashed? And the timing screen's going haywire here. Crashed in sector 4. What area? And I do not know what is happening right now, though we can see Marc Marquez going for the lead of the race, pack racing alongside his brother Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. Alex gets a cut back through turn, whatever it is. I do not know which turn this is because they're moving so fast and everyone's moving. The transponders are not working. Currently, both teammates of Bagnaia and Marc Marquez are side by side. Alex having taken the lead of the race away from Bagnaia, who's held it since the beginning of the race. And yellow flag is still out in sector 4, sector which they are coming up to very soon. So Acosta has crashed out, and oh, that bike is destroyed. What did he do? I really hope it's not a high side, but that bike has definitely done some flips. Lap 2 of 11, and we're already 3 riders down. Alex Marquez currently leads the race with Marc Marquez in second. We have a VR46 going against each other right now of Morbidelli and D'Antonio, trying their best to get 6th place. It's getting very foggy out there, and I don't think the fact... Oh, D'Antonio tries to go around the inside of Morbidelli. Can he hold his position, or can Morbidelli get the cutback? I don't think Morbidelli can get the cutback, so D'Antonio holds position for 6th place. Here's a replay of the race start from the position of Marc Marquez. He did not get a good race start, and immediately checking the front of his bike. Beautiful start from Pecco Bagnaia, though immediately Marc just falls like 6 places. We can see him checking something on the side, and has his ride height device not worked? Because he looks incredibly slow going into that first corner. So I wonder whether we can get any video footage of the crash that happened. And here is the incident. So the 49 of D'Antonio made slight contact, it seems, with Zarco's bike, which then caused him to go into Brad Binder's bike and then take both of them off, given the fact that it was basically a sandwich effect, and it was 3 wide and then turned into 4 wide when going around that corner in the heaviest braking area. What was going through their minds when they did that? I do not know. So Alex Marquez, fastest lap of a 1:45.556. Everyone seems to be improving, barring Jack Miller. And I wish I could say I was surprised, but that does also make me sad. There's a 7.5 gap between Marc Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. And Ducatis, I feel, have mixed emotions right now. They had the lead, they had the pole, and now Alex Marquez is leading the race somehow. Well, not somehow. He did some amazing overtaking moves going around. I believe it was turn 5. I'm not completely sure, because it's been 3 laps and we're only just ending the 3rd lap. Incident involving Zarco, D'Antonio and Binder currently under investigation. That would be the turn 1 incident, and I'm actually sweating because of how hot it is in this commentary box and the fact that I've just been running around. I feel like I need a shower after this. Jeez. Got the fan on this time and I've got my water, but my throat is noticeably dry from all that shouting. Right, so this is Marc Marquez making the move on Alex Marquez, going round the inside. Immediately cuts off any chance of a cutback that Alex can make as the battle for first continues, as Bagnaia seems to have fallen back significantly. When I'm looking behind there, not liking the look of those rain clouds. I do not know what the percentage of weather is. It's a 44% chance of rain, but honestly, those clouds are making it more seem like 84 chances of rain. Right, so going to the next corner, there is now an 8.5 gap between Alex Marquez and Pecco Bagnaia. So Bagnaia has dropped significantly since the start of the race, which is strange given the fact that he managed to get such an amazing start going. I do not understand where all that pace is. Okay, I've had to just stop talking because that does not sound right. Someone does not sound right. I do not know where that is, though. Though it could just be doing the wrong brake. It actually does kind of sound like doing the wrong brake. So, Quartararo looks like he's having to defend from Vinales, who is right on his tail. Looks like he wants to go for an outside move, but can't seem to make it. Following this battle now, especially since D'Antonio is right on the back of him. And an outside move really would be preferable here, Vinales, but no, can't make it anymore. And there was a swap there briefly from the Marquezes. Oh, and Marc Marquez, off the camera, has somehow managed to get ahead of his brother Alex Marquez. I don't know how that happened because we were focusing on the battle that is currently happening right now, and Vinales managed to get around the inside of Quartararo. Quartararo's not able to get the cutback as... is that turn 1? That was turn 1. he's unable to get the cutback because they've gone into the final corner and then into turn 1, and he just hasn't been able to get past that braking area and doesn't want another crash to happen like before. Here's Pedro Costa's crash. So he goes right up next to his teammate and he just drops it. He just loses the grip and goes right across the gravel. And he is not happy about that. Be grateful you've crashed now in the sprint race and not in the actual race. That's what I always say. Right, so 3 riders currently out, leaving us with 19 left. Tell you what, if 4 more go out, then we would actually have, like, if this was a normal race, it would actually be everyone gets points. But unfortunately, this is a sprint race, so you need a lot more to go out if you actually want everyone to get points. Though I said earlier in qualifying that if there was going to be crashes, it would probably be when I'm doing the sprint race. And I had a feeling I'd be doing that alone. I managed to get past both Oliveira and Miller at the same time. Beautiful move, though we haven't seen... Oh! No further action taken after reviewing the incident involving Zarco, Digitonio and Binder. If Joshua was here, we would probably talk a lot more about that, since he knows a lot more about the intricate rules and opinions. But I would very much agree with the steward's decision there. It was a sandwich move, it was turn 1, heaviest braking error, there was nothing anyone could have done. Racing incident. Not sure how the riders feel, they probably feel the exact same way. And in the chat we have Mark predicted to win, Pecco second, and Maverick third. That's probably a good bet given how Vinales is making his way up the field right now, and Bagnaia is currently trying his best to get past Alex Marquez, but he just seems to not be able to get the pace back up. He's managed to somehow get back further, so Alex has definitely made a mistake somewhere because he's now dropped a gap of 5.5 tenths towards him and Mark. And Digitonio and Quartararo are currently battling it out, and Digitonio managed to get past Quartararo. And can Quartararo get the cutback? No, he seems to not be able to get any sort of cutback. I'm guessing that's something to do with the shoulder injury, and he's not been able to make his quick moves as he usually would do. So that is definitely something to look out for. Lap 6 of 11. We are approximately halfway through the race. Battle for 6 currently continuing between Digitonio and Quartararo and Morbidelli, since Digitonio gets dragged into it because A, it's his teammate, and B, he is in a constant battle for 5th. So Morbidelli hitting the curve slightly, that is not good. And who's that behind them? That is bsky behind them. He should also be really careful of the curves because they are not being his friend right now. And it's, see further on in the background, Morbidelli's managing to catch up to Quartararo, trying to go round the outside it looks, though he just can't manage it, especially going to turn 1. He's backed out of it, though can he go round the inside into turn 1? Yes, he's able to get round the inside, but can Quartararo get the cut back round turn 2? That is a question, and the answer to that is no. Yet again, unable to get the cut back, and yet again, it is unable to get the cut back from a VR46. Poor Quartararo is having a really bad day when it comes to dealing with the VR46s. Let's hope that bsky doesn't make his day feel even worse, especially after yesterday's incident. And my laptop has gone off. Not completely if Joshua was watching. I just needed to log back in. And even that I can do via the clicking a button, thankfully. So battle for 7th between Quartararo and bsky. Poor Quartararo, he has just been ganged up on completely by everyone. Everyone is extremely close to him, and he is just having to deal with everyone else, especially after a shoulder injury. I mean, it's like, I don't want to say the words easy prey, but it's certainly not the most ideal situation to have during a sprint race, let alone tomorrow. And bsky is catching up incredibly fast to the tail of Quartararo. And is he going to go round the inside? Goes round the inside. Can he get the cutback though? No. He immediately closes off any chance of a cutback Quartararo can get from that corner, going slightly off onto the curbs. So now Quartararo, in the space of 2 laps, has been relegated from 5th to 8th. Poor Quartararo. He is not having a great day. I'm just going to continuously move my mouse because I'm sick of it going off. And for some reason, what I wanted it to do earlier, it's done now, and I don't know why. Because I haven't changed anything. I'm guessing it's because I've taken it out and plugged it back in again. Right, so 4 laps to go of this sprint race. That's gone relatively quick, and most of the action has actually been with Quartararo. But let's have a look further down the field. Who's close to each other? We haven't actually been able to see a lot of further down the field. Nakagami is about 3/10 away from Jack Miller, and that is Bagnaia getting a track limits warning. Bagnaia is currently 7/10 away from Vinales, and let's have a quick look. Oh, he's also 7/10 away from Alex Marquez, so no wonder he's trying to be as fast as he can out there because of him getting track limits. And there's a notification officially on my TV pictures. And here is Morbidelli having to deal with a very happy Bezzecchi. He just gives the aura right now of being extremely happy and just like, I want to get a 6th at least, which conveniently is Morbidelli's place right now. He's thinking about going around the inside. I can see it going around loads of bumps. Is he going to go around the inside? Of course, this time it would count. Yes, he's going for a move around the inside near the entrance of turn 1. Immediately tries blocking off any form of cut that can happen between him and Morbidelli, and that was close contact there from Morbidelli and Bezzecchi. Literally, I swear their shoulders touched each other then. How did they not do a repeat of lap 1 and crash? And it's gotten really, really cloudy over there. Has a chance of rain gone up by any chance? No, it hasn't. But I feel like it needs to be updated because that has definitely gone up to at least 60% in rain. And Marc Marquez has absolutely taken it away so far. And he is currently 6/10 faster, well, ahead of Alex Marquez. And let's look at the previous laps. On the previous lap, Alex Marquez was currently the faster of the top 3, but he seems to not be able to catch Marquez, his brother, quite as well as he's able to get away from Bagnaia. So Mark's absolutely flying out there. Pecco will blame the front feeling again if he won't will. Do you know what? Probably. Because he had an amazing start and then all of a sudden he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth around lap 4. I don't know why. And I'm a feeling I'm going to have to like put this fan towards me because it is roasting in this commentary box right now. And I have the door open, so I'm not in a closed commentary box. So it's 29 degrees right now. 29! Oh, I wish I could do with some rain right now. Both here and here. And just as I say that over there, the sun starts to come out a little bit, and Marquez suddenly has caught up by at least a 1/10 of a second to his brother. Well, geez, Bagnaia has lost about 6/10 within the past 4 to 5 laps. Actually, do you know what? It might be less than that. It might be 2 to 3 laps given last time I checked out what his time was. That is very concerning for the Ducati, who honestly has been having constant problems within the past 5 race weekends, I think. Or at least in my personal opinion, he's been having problems. Then again, evidence speaks for itself. It's very unfortunate, and not a lot of people are improving on any of their times, so that also means not a lot of people are actually making moves unless they're right next to each other. Speaking of making moves when you're right next to each other, there is Ralph Fernandez and Quartararo. I believe it is... Oh no, it's Aldeguer. It's way too similar on these timing screens. Aldeguer is currently catching up on Quartararo. Wait a minute, I've just processed that in my mind. Quartararo's 9th. Ralph Fernandez is in the points for the sprint race, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but it goes up to 8th position that you get points. So he gets at least 1 point from this, and yeah, that's going to rain. So Ralph Hernandez is in the points. Quartararo is struggling out there and is about to be passed by Aldeguer, which honestly, good for Aldeguer. He probably will catch up quite quickly to Ralph Hernandez. But there is only 2 laps to go, and he might take a lap and a half. Oh, now it's the last lap. He probably only has about enough to get into 9th, Aldeguer, unless he can somehow find the time to get Ralph Hernandez. And a little bit of a picture break up there, though. It's fixed itself now, going round the inside, going and immediately cutting off any chance of a cutback there. Though he's failed at the cutback for the first time this session. Quartararo's managed to get the cutback, but then immediately around the next corner, Aldeguer, who basically, whenever there's a cutback chance, he's just like personal space does not exist. He manages to get the cutback round turn 2, and now he's approximately a 10th away from Quartararo. So yet again, Quartararo has lost position. He did manage to get a cutback though, so that is props to him for that. Looking at the championship and how this standing will go, Marc Marquez would have 245 points to 35-point difference between him and Alex. That he is just taking it away with the championship recently. And I saw what that TV just did. That showed what I wanted it to do. Alright, last lap, get my head into gear. Coming into the last sector now, Marc Marquez dominating so many of the races, so many of the sprints. His brother didn't manage to win 1 or 2 or 3. He's been dominant in most of the season so far, even after so many difficulties he's had in the past few years. Comes across the line in Italy and he wins the sprint race. I gather that is not as exciting as Joshua's things, but my throat is actually becoming quite sore from how much talking I've had to do today already. Coming home, well, not coming home, well, coming across the flag in second is his brother Alex Marquez. Bagnaia is in third. And congratulations going on between the two brothers. Bagnaia is in third position, which, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he start in like third or fourth? So probably finishing where he started. You were so close with Vinales. Vinales finishes at fourth after managing to get past Antonio, things that we did not see. And this is going to go to ad break. And I know it will. So I'm going to make the most of this while I can. Fifth is Di Antonio. Bezzecchi is sixth. Morbidelli is in seventh. Eighth is Ralph Hernandez getting the final point for the sprint race. And Aldeguer is in ninth. Quartararo is in 10th, being pushed back more than half the positions that he spent most of the race in. So he's lost 5 positions because for some reason he just can't seem to get the cutback on anyone. And that was repeated throughout the entirety. I'm blaming that shoulder injury because that has definitely had some sort of effect on him within today's sessions all the way throughout. 11th is Bastianini. Ayagura is in 12th. Oliveira is in 13th. Mir is in 14th. Nakagami is in 15th. Good result from Nakagami. Miller is in 16th. And Salvadori is in 17th. Brilliant from Salvadori from what usually happens when Salvadori is racing. Absolutely phenomenal. Rins is in 18th. A little bit of a worry there for the Yamaha. Chantra is in 19th. And crashing out was Acosta, Zarco and Binder. Obviously, not a great circuit for the KTMs. They've lost 2 of their riders. Are they the same exact team? I believe, I've only just realised, they lost both of their team members there from the Red Bull KTM factory racing. That is definitely a shame. Not their circuit so far. Right, I shall tune off, given the fact that there is quick offs all throughout the weekend for me. And please go over to the main JB Motorsports channel for the touring cars action that's going on. And I believe there was also a lot more going on JB Motorsports today as well. I believe there is NASCAR later, and oh, I have it right here. There's NASCAR later, both qualifying and in Xfinity. So please join for that later on in the streams. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.